It was a cold Monday night in February 2004 when a black 1996 Saturn sedan was found abandoned along a rural stretch of Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire. The car's front end was crumpled from a crash into a tree, the windshield cracked, airbags deployed, and inside, an empty box of Franzia wine, some red stains, and scattered personal belongings were left behind. The driver was gone. No footprints in the snow. No witnesses to where she went. But several locals had seen her moments earlier, standing beside the vehicle. That woman was 21-year-old Maura Murray, a nursing student from the University of Massachusetts Amherst. And within minutes of that car crash, she vanished into thin air. The case of Maura Murray has haunted investigators, family members, and amateur sleuths for over 2 decades. Her disappearance has sparked thousands of online threads, dozens of podcasts, television specials, and endless speculation. But despite the attention, there's been no resolution. No confirmed sightings. No body. Just a trail of unsettling details and disturbing possibilities. Who was Maura Murray? And what really happened on that icy highway? Maura was born on May 4, 1982, in Hanson, Massachusetts. The fourth of 5 children in a close Irish-American family, Maura grew up excelling in school and athletics. She was a bright student with a sharp mind, described as kind, driven, and intensely focused. In high school, she ran track and cross-country, earning honors and praise from her peers and teachers alike. After graduation, she received an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point, a prestigious accomplishment. But her time at West Point was brief. After her sophomore year, she transferred to UMass Amherst to pursue a degree in nursing, a career inspired by her mother, who was battling cancer during that period. At UMass, Maura seemed to maintain the appearance of a successful, focused student. She had a long-distance boyfriend, Billy Roche, an Army lieutenant stationed in Oklahoma, and was known to be close with her father, Fred Murray. But in the months leading up to her disappearance, cracks began to show. In November 2003, Maura was caught using a stolen credit card number to order food deliveries. The incident was relatively minor, but it hinted at a side of Maura that her friends and family didn't often see, one willing to take risks or perhaps struggling with something deeper. She was scheduled to attend a disciplinary hearing about the matter just days after she vanished. In early February 2004, Maura drove to her hometown to visit her father. During the trip, she wrecked his new Toyota Corolla in a late-night accident after attending a dorm party. The crash caused nearly $10,000 in damages, and Maura claimed she had no memory of how it happened. Her father wasn't angry. He reassured her it would all be handled through insurance. But Maura seemed troubled. Then came the night of February 5, 2004. While working a late-night campus security shift, Maura received a phone call around 1 a.m. Whatever was said during that call left her visibly shaken. Her supervisor later found Maura in a trance-like state, crying uncontrollably and unable to respond when asked what was wrong. All she could say was, "My sister." It was later revealed that she had been speaking to her sister Kathleen, who was dealing with a relapse in alcoholism. But others suspect the call might have been from someone else, possibly her boyfriend or even her father. Regardless, it clearly rattled her. Over the next several days, Maura began acting strangely. On Monday, February 9th, Maura took a series of curious steps. That morning, she emailed her professors to say she'd be out of town for a few days due to a death in the family. That was a lie. No such death had occurred. She then contacted a condominium owner in Bartlett, New Hampshire, a town nestled in the White Mountains, and inquired about renting a unit. She had vacationed there with her father in the past and seemed to have an emotional connection to the area. Around 1 p.m., she searched for directions to Burlington, Vermont, and at 3:15 p.m., she emailed her boyfriend. Then she began packing. She removed items from her dorm room, textbooks, toiletries, clothes, and placed them neatly in her car. She withdrew $280 from her bank account, leaving behind just $16. She went to a liquor store and bought alcohol, including Bailey's, vodka, and a box of Franzia wine. Surveillance footage shows her at the register, dressed casually, expressionless, and composed. Around 4:30 p.m., she left Amherst, driving northbound in her Saturn. She did not tell anyone where she was going. Maura drove for several hours through the darkening evening, winding her way into rural New Hampshire. Temperatures hovered below freezing. Sometime around 7 p.m., she entered the town of Haverhill and took a turn onto Route 112. At 7:27 p.m., a local woman named Faith Westman, who lived near the road, heard a loud noise outside her home. She looked out and saw a car that appeared to have crashed into a snowbank. She called 911. A few minutes later, another local man, Butch Atwood, a school bus driver, drove by the scene and stopped. He saw Maura standing near the vehicle. He asked if she needed help, and she declined, saying she had already called AAA. But there was no cell phone reception in that area. Butch was concerned, so he drove home and called 911 himself. His estimate placed the time around 7:40 p.m. At 7:46 p.m., less than 20 minutes after the initial crash, Officer Cecil Smith of the Haverhill Police Department arrived at the scene. But Maura was gone. Her car was locked, the driver's side door had sustained front-end damage, the airbags had deployed, and inside the vehicle were her packed belongings, including school books and makeup. An empty box of Franzia wine was found in the back seat. Red stains, possibly wine, were visible inside the car. Her cell phone, debit card, and backpack were missing. That night, police assumed the situation was a simple case of drunk driving. Perhaps the young woman didn't want to get caught and ran into the woods to hide. But the temperatures were dangerously low, and there were no visible footprints in the snow. Dogs were brought in the next day, and a search was launched. The scent trail ended abruptly just 100 yards east of the car. It was as if Maura had vanished or gotten into another vehicle. In the following days, Fred Murray and other family members arrived and joined the search. They were frustrated by the police response and believed the investigation lacked urgency. To them, Maura would never just walk away from her life. As days turned into weeks, they plastered the area with missing person flyers and canvassed the local woods, rivers, and abandoned properties. But nothing turned up. No trace of Maura. Not a footprint. Not a scrap of clothing. Not a single confirmed sighting. Just silence. Over time, the case grew cold, but theories and rumors exploded. One theory suggested that Maura had planned her disappearance. Her actions, lying to professors, withdrawing money, buying alcohol, and printing directions, could indicate a calculated plan to leave her life behind. But if she wanted to start fresh, why crash her car in the middle of nowhere? And if she had planned a rendezvous, why bring so many of her belongings? Why take her textbooks? Others speculated she had gone into the woods and died from exposure. Maybe she was injured and tried to flee the scene, only to succumb to the elements. But the area was heavily searched by dogs, helicopters, and foot teams. Not a single item connected to Maura was recovered. The theory that gained the most traction was abduction. Some believe Maura may have accepted a ride from a passing motorist. Or worse, she may have been forced into a vehicle. The short window between the last sighting and the arrival of police made this possible. Butch Atwood was the last confirmed person to see her, and he was later ruled out as a suspect. No other credible witnesses came forward. There were also rumors that someone living nearby may have taken her, and in later years, authorities searched properties, including a home where a cadaver dog allegedly alerted in the basement. But those searches yielded nothing. Over time, suspicion even turned to Maura's boyfriend, Billy Roche. Although he was stationed in Oklahoma at the time, some online sleuths pointed to cryptic phone calls, strange behavior, and inconsistencies in his statements. But no evidence has ever implicated him in any crime. Others believe Maura may have been battling inner demons. Her recent car crash, the legal trouble, the mysterious phone call that made her break down, all hinted at emotional turmoil. Some believe she may have been depressed or suicidal. But again, there was no suicide note. And her behavior that day, emailing professors, packing clothes, reaching out to a condo owner, suggested she intended to come back. The years passed. Every so often, a new lead surfaced, bones found in the woods, sightings of women resembling Maura, anonymous tips, but nothing panned out. In 2017, authorities found bone fragments near the crash site, but testing revealed they were not human. In 2019, a basement was excavated after ground-penetrating radar indicated anomalies, but nothing related to Maura was discovered. Despite decades of searching, the case remains unsolved. Maura's father, Fred Murray, never gave up. He has been relentless in his pursuit of the truth, frequently clashing with law enforcement and demanding access to case files. He believes Maura was taken and that someone in the area knows what happened. Her siblings have also spoken publicly, hoping to keep the case in the public eye. In 2021, the FBI officially joined the investigation, and the case was added to the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. But no arrests have been made, no suspects named, no final answers given. Today, more than 20 years later, Maura Murray is still missing. Her case has become a symbol of the unknown, a chilling reminder of how quickly someone can disappear and how, sometimes, even the most intense scrutiny doesn't bring closure. Was she running from something? Or towards something? Was she taken? Did she simply vanish into the cold night, her fate sealed in that final drive north? The truth remains out of reach, buried beneath layers of speculation and silence. But somewhere, someone knows what happened to Maura Murray. And until that truth comes to light, her story will remain one of the most haunting disappearances in modern history. And that brings us to the end of Maura Murray's story, or at least, the part we know. A bright young woman vanished into the cold night, leaving behind a mystery that still haunts her family, investigators, and all who hear it. Over 2 decades later, we're still asking the same question: what happened to Maura Murray? If you have a theory, insight, or simply want to share your thoughts, leave a comment below. I read every single one. If you found this story compelling, disturbing, or thought-provoking, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming stories like this one, because there are many more chilling cases you've never heard of. And remember, behind every missing person is a family still searching and a truth still waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching.